All right, I think we're back. Schedule public. Okay, perfect. So this thing's on. Let's see if we can answer 100 questions in, man, let's go 15 minutes. Just waiting till we get the first person here. Okay, perfect. So will I do a review on FL Moda? That's what I last met. That's where we last finished. So the answer is I'm not going to personally because nobody has stuck to it long time. Thoughts on supplementing additional iodine? I don't think it's necessary. I think you should choose between taking choline or iodine, and most likely you're going to like choline more. So there is no point whatsoever in doing that. Next question is, have you tried Anaeros Time? Yes, it's one of the best things out there for memory, supposedly, but it didn't work well for me, although I'm going to be giving it another shot for sure. Best stack for working in a call center. I kind of answered that in the other stream with respect to Nupep. I think I mentioned Nupep, caffeine, L-theanine, L-tyrosine as well. How much L-tyrosine to take with coffee pre-workout? I think 1 gram to 1.5 grams is good. Depends on how long your workout is. More L-tyrosine if it's a longer workout. With L-tyrosine, it will work. The only difference really between taking more is that it will last for more time, basically. Otherwise, it's not like you get any magical benefit from taking more. Don't expect more focus or better mood or anything like that. Was introduced to your videos and I binge watched like 10 videos of 10 of your videos today. I'm an entrepreneur / mindset coach looking into Anaeros Time for better word recall and day-to-day motivation and more flow. Yeah, that's awesome. I would say add choline with your Anaeros Time and also consider adding Paracetam with that. With lion's mane, got an allergic reaction and excessive hunger. Is this normal? It's actually common with the host defense, so consider trying a different brand. We're live, baby. You guys are funny. What do you think about stacking phenylparacetam and ashwagandha? That's a great stack. Just keep in mind with ashwagandha is that phenylparacetam will pretty much work. Whereas with ashwagandha, you need to be taking it for a few weeks or a couple weeks in order for you to see the benefits. So don't think that you can go off nootropics for a month and then add phenylparacetam and ashwagandha and one day getting back into nootropics and have like a game-changing result, because it will not happen. Stack with choline. Phenibut is horrible for cognition. I found that as well, although when it comes to networking, being social, sometimes it's not about having the best word recall, the best cognition. It's about you having the courage to go up and talk to somebody. I used any alternatives? No, Stephanie. Where do you get those charts you show? Google Nootropics survey or just ask me in one of the comments. But if you Google Nootropics survey, you'll find that chart. But it's an old, outdated chart. So you know it's from like 2017 maybe. Ashwagandha stops male hair loss. There's a good chance that it can actually. But the things which will stop male loss will very often actually speed up. They will decrease your testosterone levels. So be mindful of that. Anaeros Time is close to Addy. I don't know if that's true for some users. It hasn't been my experience. It's strong, but it's nowhere close to Addy. I have past episodes of depression. I'm just wary of the side effects if taking me there again. Does rhodiola rosea reduce its effectiveness if we use it on a daily basis? No, its effectiveness is pretty much correlated with how tired you are. That's really what it is. Like rhodiola rosea will really work when you're just exhausted, you're sleep deprived. But if not, you may not notice it working. But you should still feel something. You should feel like some appetite suppression. There's some showing that it will help you to actually lose fat as well. I think it's just a great overall nutritional supplement. I like the effect of Anaeros Time, but it makes me sleepy and can give me headaches, even when taking alpha GPC. Any ideas to balance that out? Consider trying it with CDP choline. You may just respond better to it for any reason. Swanson's, Lion's Mane, any good? What are the best brands? My favorites being Lion's Mane, the 8-to-1 dual extract from Nootropics Depot. The other product is Fresh Cap, and the other product is Real Mushrooms, which you should most likely find on Amazon. Magtine, good for motivation and it decreased anxiety to get tasks done for procrastination. For some people, especially if you have any sort of like anyone mentioned that you may be having like ADHD-like symptoms, or if you've been diagnosed with ADHD, but even if you don't and you lack focus, then it may help you out. Do you know about maca root and how it works? I've not tried maca yet, so that is definitely to come. What is the daily dose for yohimbine? It's hard to say because it's a supplement that you should be using only when you're doing cardio and really only like when you need it. Yohimbine is not going to work. Can you guys hear me okay? Do you mind just letting me know if the microphone is working as well as it does in the prior stream? And if you're watching this stream right now, after it's been done, then note that the first portion to the stream is uploaded on my channel as well. So be sure to check that one out. No buffering. Man, so you guys are giving me different answers. Come on. Have you tried Mormon's tea? It's like a weak or a weak ephedrine. No, and I don't really like ephedrines. It blunts your appetite. It just makes you feel off. I think you retain more water weight. I'm not a fan. Good morning, bro. Good morning. So I've been taking L-arginine, choline, and GABA around nighttime, and it kind of reduces the need for sleep. I don't think you should take anything to reduce the need for sleep. You need sleep, REM sleep, non-REM sleep. But if you really need something, then I don't really think those nootropics would help much. Try zinc and magnesium. Maybe try some Tribulus. That works for me. And lemon balm, that as well is pretty damn strong. Would it be best to email you? Yes, I'm Susie. You're welcome to do that. I can get back to you. Could you find alpha GPC to be overstimulating? Yep, I've definitely found taking too much can be overstimulating. So make sure that you've got like a good 2 or 3 hours of work ahead of you once you take it. Don't just take it on a day off. There wouldn't really be a purpose. It's one of those nootropics you would take kind of dependent on your workload. You're working more hours, you may want to take alpha GPC. Working more cognitively demanding tasks as well, take more alpha GPC. What's the difference between Anaeros and phenylparastam? The difference is Anaeros is better for social context, and phenylparastam is more like stimulating energy. You want energy, you go for phenylparastam. You want to be better socially, maybe get a little bit of a boost of your memory, then you take Anaeros. But with Anaeros, it does take a bit of time for it to work. Need to work hard and fast. And you didn't understand that question. Stephanie, if you're still here, you're welcome to mention that one again. We need a female perspective YouTube nootropics. Okay, there's an idea for one of you. Not sure if you can answer this, but what do you think of Cortex Labs? It didn't help me at all. I've watched a few of his videos. I don't think he has bad content. He explains things and the science behind them. I think his stacks are a little bit too complex for somebody getting into nootropics. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I haven't checked out his channel in a while. Make no motivation Mike. What does that mean? See adverse side effects with nootropics plus casual. Man, you guys, what happened to the questions? Like, I had such clear questions on the channel before, nicely written question marks, and now we've got nothing like that. Do we get like a different time zone on and less English speaking people? It's all good. What's your best choline stack? I pretty much just take out 200 milligrams of alpha GPC 3 times per day. Simple. Any suggestions for not stacking as much or for losing weight? Yeah, that's a great question. Like I mentioned before, complex carbohydrates, fibrous carbohydrates will keep you full. And then there are particular food choices you can make, which will actually make you more hungry. As far as supplements are concerned, green tea extract, that's a good one. Rhodiola rosea will definitely suppress your appetite. Within taking, just after taking rhodiola rosea, you will probably find like within 30 minutes. Yeah, within 30 minutes, appetite's pretty much gone. But the strongest thing out there is ephedrine, in my opinion, when it comes to suppressing your appetite. Stephanie says, I'm in real estate. I get about 500 calls a week. Thank you. I have all your suggestions. Okay, awesome. Great. So about 500 calls a week. That's actually a lot of calls, depending on what sources you're calling. Mike, literally, have you tried, okay, Fasorastam, somebody mentioned that. How much vitamin D3 a day? I don't really think there's anything wrong with taking too much, honestly. Like, 2,000 to 3,000 is pretty common though. What nootropics would you recommend for an accountant? So for an accountant, what's going to be important is your analytical skills. Of course, being able to work long, tedious hours doing the same thing. So I would consider Pramarastam. That'll really help you when it comes to like the boring work out there. The boring, repetitive work, that's where Pramarastam is the best thing. So consider that with Paracetam and a choline source. What can I take along with ashwagandha? If you're taking ashwagandha, I would presume that you're doing it for a mood boost. So you can consider taking lion's mane and L-theanine as well. Are you Canadian? Yes, I'm Canadian. Do you ever pay duties for Nootropics Depot? Honestly, I don't know. I just pay. They're not that expensive. Can you believe DHA works for me just the way you described lion's mane, but better? Lion's mane was very good for stress and mood, but not as I've not tried DHA actually. Sorry. Thank you for doing these live chats. You're so much fun to watch and listen to. Cute too. Thank you. Please go back to the hospital. Someone's talking to somebody. Okay, perfect. So I wrapped up the questions on the last one. I don't know if we hit our 50 questions or so, but I'm going to get to the questions here. What is St. John's wort good for? St. John's wort is good for mood regulation, especially for people who've had like psychosis, depressive episodes. That is what St. John's wort is for. However, with St. John's wort, at the same time, there's a risk of taking it. They've actually found with St. John's wort, if you have experience with bipolar, it can actually trigger a manic episode. For some depressed patients, they found that St. John's wort actually made the depression worse. So that's the very reason why I don't talk about St. John's wort, because I've not personally tried it, and it's really hit or miss. If you're already in a bad state, I would say avoid anything which can make you get any worse, because with St. John's wort, it won't work instantly. You'll have to take it for a couple weeks at least anyway. Best nootropic for everyday use, and how do you cycle your stacks? Best nootropic for everyday use, like I mentioned, I really like L-tyrosine first thing in the morning. I take caffeine pretty much every single day for the energy boost pre-workout with fat loss, building muscle, and then sometimes as well if I need like a good pick-me-up later in the day. So those two are good. What nootropic can I take along ashwagandha? I think you answered that in the last one, so I've answered that. Ever tried ethyl-modafinil? I answered that. When are you starting your own nootropics brand? It's more, I think about it more so than I did about a year ago. What's your stance on kratom? The bad research and bad side effects that are often reported about kratom have kind of turned me off on it, so I don't see myself trying it anytime soon. But people seem to like it, especially for anti-anxiety and focus. Guys, don't mind giving this thing a like. I really appreciate your support, and it does surprisingly help the channel. Don't underestimate the power of just clicking that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Does cigarettes and tea negate the effect of modafinil? No, I've actually found that like nicotine sprays, nicotine gum, they hardly work when you're on modafinil. Things like caffeine still will work though. Be mindful that stimulants may overstimulate you, and then you get to the space where you're horribly unproductive and you'll talk to people and just be too in your head to say anything properly. Can Shilajit be combined with my nootropics stack and vitamins? In most cases, yes. It's especially good with some of the mushroom nootropics, reishi mushroom, turkey tail mushroom, lion's mane mushroom, chaga. How do non-prescription focus newts compare to Adderall or Ritalin in your experience? Well, Adderall and Ritalin are completely different. I've never tried Adderall, but I've used Ritalin in the past for maybe about a year before getting on Concerta. Ritalin is pretty light, maybe 20% as effective as Adderall. You get an idea as what this can do to boost your focus and boost your mood, but it just feels healthier. Whereas with Adderall, no sleep, you're euphoric, you have bad withdrawals. So how do they compare? I think it's easier to find nootropics that compare with the latter versus Adderall. What do you think about ginger? Good. I mean, it's good for overall health. I think that you should do your best to just add good, healthy seasonings, whatever you can to your diet, and exercise and hydration come first. Speaking of hydration, I chugged like a good liter of water prior to doing this live stream, just so I could be well hydrated. What are your sources for discovering new and promising nootropics? That's a great question. I think Reddit's really good. My Discord channel, definitely join the Discord if you haven't yet. And what else? I pretty much learned through friends, through Reddit, and I guess on the websites, looking at the top products, that's obviously a really good one. Like with their best sellers, I kept on seeing Noopep. That's how I got into Noopep. I noticed, like I mentioned, really did help with sales, just getting more stuff done. You can increase your workload. You're sharper. You're faster, better, stronger. And it was the fact that I kept seeing Noopep, bestseller on this site, bestseller on this site. There was so much talk about Noopep. If you were around the nootropic scene like 5 to 7 years ago, then you probably know what I'm talking about. It was like Noopep, 1,000 times more paracetam, more effective than paracetam. Why take paracetam? How do you feel about the Joe Rogan's nootropic blend? Does he have a nootropic blend? I think the most nootropic blends out there, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they're overpriced. Like Alpha Brain, it's not necessarily bad. It's okay for beginners to nootropics, because the fact that it's underdosed makes it justifiable to take, in that it's probably somewhat safe, right? Anaeros Time is causing my conversations to become awkward because I don't care what I say. That's funny. Tyson, what kind of conversations? That'll give us a better idea. What would you recommend to a friend that is typically very irritable and gets frustrated easily? I would recommend them to add more fats to their diet. That's usually the reason why people are irritable. It's not always that they're hungry. Just give them a spoon of almond butter. See how they are. Especially when like look at the breakdown of your diet. If I know a lot of people don't track their calories, but or have an idea of like their macros, but usually when people are having like 50% carbohydrates, like only like 10 to 20% of their calories are coming from fat, that can really cause for irritability. What do you think of the keto diet for cognitive performance? Yeah, like I was going to mention, keto, I think it's great. I think for athletes it's not optimal in my opinion. There's people who would disagree with that, disagree with me about that. But I think when you have like your, like your carb store is full, you just perform better for those short, intense bouts like weightlifting, sprinting. But when it comes to cognitive performance, when I was on keto, oh my gosh, my mood was amazing. It was like I was on vacation every single day. And I was on the keto diet pretty much before everyone, or it felt like it was 2011, 2012. And I talked to people about keto, nobody knew about it. So it's so hyped up, and for a good reason, because gives you almost similar like focus to taking something like Concerta to some extent. Thoughts on Go-To Cola? I don't personally like it, but some people swear by it. I know a couple people in my gym who like it. I actually noticed like a bad reaction to it. I did try taking it every day for a month. I think in February, and I took it before bed, hoping that it would improve the quality of my sleep, but it didn't. Who said please go back to the hospital? I hope that question wasn't directed to my boy Michael. That's funny. It's all good. I don't know. I think they were arguing with each other, but I think we haven't seen many arguments on this live stream compared to others. Fast Time, what do you think about it for anxiousness and cognition? I've not noticed anything from Fast Time, but I'll be giving it a shot again. I think it's good for independent work more so than other. What are you on right now? I mean, in terms of like what's still in my system, it's pretty late here. No, oh my gosh, it's after 12. So I can share with you what I took today. I didn't take modafinil. I didn't take any like phenylparacetam or anything stimulating. What my day looked like was in the morning, I took paracetam, Anaeros Time, oxiracetam. I took Nootropics. I took about 300 milligrams of caffeine. I did take a little bit of yohimbine because I went for a run and did some biking. It was my cardio day. And then in the later portion of the day, like I usually do, I had rhodiola rosea. So I had 500 milligrams of rhodiola rosea once at 4 o'clock and then again at 9 o'clock. And similarly with Bacopa, I think I took the same dose, and then I took lion's mane. So what am I on right now? Let's put it this way, I didn't take anything prior to the live stream. Sometimes like taking some L-tyrosine is good for that little boost of energy, just depending on how your state is. It's funny though, it's usually, I'm curious to know if you guys would guess that I'm on modafinil, because sometimes I make videos or I do these live streams and people comment like, this is a sign that Mike is on modafinil. Mike was definitely on modafinil during this live stream. I won't lie. Sometimes you're right, but you're also wrong too. Best stack for working in a call center. I mentioned that earlier. Best supplement for a clear mind. Alpha GPC is really good. I also like Bacopa Minieri for a clear mind, because for me anyway, I take it, I get alert. I'm really like attentive to my surroundings, and you feel a lot more present. What nootropic do you have the most experience with? That would be paracetam. Thoughts on snorting Noopept? I've never tried it. What are your thoughts on PRL 853 HCl for memory? Yes, yeah, it was #1 on memory enhancement in your recent magnesium video chart. For that reason, I'm trying again. I tried it for a month earlier this year. I didn't notice much of a memory boost, so I'm going to be giving that a shot. I actually did already buy it. Maybe for the month of May, I'll try some new nootropics. Have you tried NMN? Yes. Similarly, I tried it for a month. I didn't notice anything from it. It's different for me. I mean, I'm taking so many nootropics. I'm really not trying to add anything else unless something really is like a game changer. But I feel like there's so many trendy nootropics now. Nootropics is just more in the scene. Have you tried Kava Kava? Yes. Yeah, I tried a nice like anti-anxiety effect from it. Things not to take when you consume modafinil. Like I found that grape juice should not be consumed when you take modafinil. That's funny you say that, because some people say the opposite. #1 overrated and #1 overlooked nootropics. Phenibut's one I mentioned. I actually made a video on that. Look up overrated nootropics. It was only about a month ago, so check that, or maybe a couple months ago. Phenibut, that's one of them, and then adrafinil. I think adrafinil is does cause a bit of irritability, although it does increase your focus. What ashwagandha brand do you recommend for PTSD and ADHD? Really different ones, because for ADHD, I would probably take something like KSM 66. That's the research that's the particular extract of ashwagandha, which is most likely to help you with cognition, getting stuff done, concentration. Whereas the other forms or the other extracts of ashwagandha are too sedating. There's an active ingredient called withanolides, and that's responsible for ashwagandha calming you down. So if it's PTSD, you may want to look into the Shodan. I really like the Shodan ashwagandha just prior to bed. I'm using that right now, 125 milligrams, like 30 minutes before sleeping, and I can consciously like tell this stuff is definitely making a big difference. You know you're well rested when you have more energy the following day. I wouldn't really say it's based on yawns. I think we yawn for a lot of different reasons, but measure kind of like your energy, and that's typically a good sign that you had a good night's sleep. Hemp seed oil as a nootropic, I'm not crazy about it, kind of like flax seeds and fish oil. I find silbutamine gives you great concentration. Okay, cool. Would you combine Noopep with modafinil and Anaeros Time? I would combine Noopep with Anaeros Time because Noopep will help you with the focus, and Anaeros Time may not be that strong with it that way. I've not noticed that with modafinil, the racetams work as effectively. The only reason to use racetams while using modafinil is because racetams need to be taken cumulatively. So you don't want to skip days when you're taking racetams. So if you, for example, you take racetams for a week, and then you have one day with modafinil, you go off your racetams, then the following day, you've kind of made a break to that cycle, which is never a good idea with the racetams. It's all about consistency and, measure it after a month and get some real objective means, which is easier when you're in a sales job, I realize. Hey, I'm a teen and I have tests coming up, so I booked a doctor's appointment. Can I request the specific things to help me or regarding ADHD? Speak to them. You'll never know if you have it or not. I don't like the question, so I have to remove it. How long does the effect of Noopeps last? Somebody commented 2 hours. I would agree with that. Anything that mimics antipsychotics? No, nothing really. Besides, like I mentioned, St. John's wort. There's some research on SAMe, but the best thing really is fish oil. So high dose EPA, DHA, and make sure you sleep. The best nootropic for studying and memory, in my opinion, it would be Bacopa. You're better off combining it with paracetam. Modafinil versus armodafinil. Thoughts on colorastam daily with my nootropic or Noopep daily with my daily? What is your daily nootropic, DJ G Rod? Modafinil versus armodafinil for studying. Armodafinil, just because that's been for studying. And what I liked about armodafinil is, let's say, let's face it, you may not be always getting the optimal number of hours. You may be sleeping less, 5 or 6 hours. So when that happens, you want to take a nap midday. So that was my cycle, which really helped me out. I was like sleeping, honestly, 4 or 5 hours a day for a good 2 months. And I was taking armodafinil and making sure I had my nap during the day. But with modafinil, you're not able to nap. That's kind of how they're different. With modafinil, you're kind of more alert. You're just happier, really. But with armodafinil, you're still able to sustain like a good amount of focus, and you don't feel overstimulated at all. Michael's like the Thomas DeLauer of nootropics. Thanks. I just have to get more subscribers and viewers, I hope, and hopefully help some more people. Thoughts on bromantane? I've never tried it. It doesn't look safe, in my opinion. Hi, I'm a doctor preparing for residency exams. Great. I'm currently on Prozac and ashwagandha, but I still want to increase my concentration. Thank you. Greetings from Kuwait. Awesome. Good stuff. Don't see a question, but let me know how that goes or what I can do for help. Like I mentioned, with concentration, the racetams are good. Noopep is good too. I don't really think ashwagandha would help too much unless you're really stressed out from the exams, you're not sleeping right. Alpha GPC powder sucks to mix. It always clumps up. Consider if you may be taking the 99% version, so consider the 50% alpha GPC. You'll typically find the products either in the 50% or the 99%. So note that with the 99%, unfortunately, it is very clumpy. Don't drop one little drop of water in there. Is alpha GPC good on its own? Yes, it can be, Zaid, especially if you're one of the harder working individuals. Is it possible to, I alternate daily between pramrastam, anurastam, or oxyrastam. I usually take it with Noopep. And what were you referring to? Oh, with colorastam. Yeah, honestly, I think that one's okay to mix. And what I mentioned, like in my prior live stream, was this coffee here, the Lion's Mane Focus. This is a really good coffee if you're looking for one. Subroxy, this is also a great newer nootropic that came on Nootropics Depot. I'm enjoying this. It's like a natural stimulant. And this is really cool. I've never tried something like this before, a coffee creamer, but shout out to Tempo because I absolutely love this stuff. This It's 38 it's got 2 grams of fat, but look at the nutritional profile. To think like, so the great news about a coffee creamer is that this does not have any caffeine. So you want to take it at night with your green tea. That's how I'm using it. And it's got MCT oil, it's got taurine, it's got tyrosine, it's got Panax ginseng, it's got rhodiola rosea, uridine, and huperzine A. This is a great idea. So shout out to Tempo for making such a well-formulated product. I'm enjoying this. I've used it 5 or 6 times and could definitely tell it working. How do you cycle? What is taurine? Taurine is an amino acid, one of the most abundant amino acids found in the body and the muscles after glutamine specifically. It may help you with anxiety, and it's especially useful when you're having caffeine. So a lot of people like to have more taurine depending on their caffeine intake, as it kind of like prolongs the effects of caffeine and you seem to get more energy from it. There is also some research showing that it can help with the hydration of your muscles, similar to how creatine does, and can also enhance fat burning. And I hope you all found this helpful. I think we hit our 100 questions, if not here, maybe the prior one, maybe even more. I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Don't forget to get on Discord. We can chat there. Follow me on Instagram. And the best way to ask me a question is either through Patreon or on any of the YouTube comments. And I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys.